Welcome everyone. My name is Karina Bravo. I am from Mexico and I work here for the Recruitment and Admissions Office. This session is called A Student Perspective, and that's because you can take this opportunity to ask anything you want to our current students. They are currently doing their second year of IBA. And I also want to take the opportunity to welcome everybody who is watching us live now, because we are live streaming this session. So we know that we have students that cannot come because they live abroad. So welcome to everybody who's watching us online now. Okay, so first of all, I would like you to introduce yourselves.
So, hello everyone, my name is Esme and I graduated from a Dutch VWO school.
I'm Arno. I lived in Luxembourg, although I'm French. If you have any questions about the European Baccalaureate, I'm the one to ask, really.
I'm Marlin. I'm from Germany, and I also graduated high school in Germany. So, if for the Germans among us, I'm probably one to approach.
Hi everyone, my name is Pauline. I'm French, and I did the International Baccalaureate in Brussels. So, if you have any IB-related questions, you can ask me.
Okay, thank you. So who wants to start and ask the first question? Okay, then I will. Oh, okay, we have a question.
The mic is coming for you.
Yes, I can repeat the question as well. Yes.
I have a question to all of you. Why did you choose Rotterdam, and why did you choose IBA?
Okay.
From my own experiences and my background, I was sure I wanted to do something international. And I also knew I wanted to do something in business. But because I didn't know exactly what direction, I chose IBA because it's really broad and you just have everything in it. And why Rotterdam? Because it's really an international city. And there are also many companies over here. And we have many collaborations with many companies, which is also very interesting.
Well, as an international, I didn't really want to move to a place where I would be flooded with a crowd of Dutch people, of course. So, Rotterdam was just perfect for this. This program is very international. We have about 60% of internationals doing IBA. So this was fantastic for me, really. And Rotterdam is really international as well. Lots of opportunities. Main reason why.
For me, it was mainly that I really wanted to study in English, because I thought if I'm doing an international program, then it totally makes sense to do it in English, and in Germany I can't do that. And then, of course, I was also looking for something that is affordable in terms of tuition, so that's why I concentrated on the Netherlands. And then within the Netherlands, Rotterdam, RSM certainly has the best reputation, and the IBA program just appealed more to me than any international business programs at other universities.
And for me, it's because since I'm 15, I'm used to studying in English in international schools. And Rotterdam, it's ranked really good for its masters. And since I plan on doing a master's here as well, that's another reason why I came here. And also because from my high school, quite a few people went there, and I heard good feedback from it. So that's why I chose IBA.
And also another reason that people don't usually say at first is the price of the education for the quality. I could have had some other options, international options as well, but the ratio of quality to price would have been much different. So this was a very interesting program for me in this aspect.
Okay, thank you. We have a question here. The microphone is coming.
Thank you. What was the most difficult thing for you during the first year at Rotterdam?
For me, it was adapting to the fact that you have no teacher to check on you whatsoever, so you're free to come to class, to not come to class, to study, to not study. And so you feel like you have a lot of free time because you only have to come to uni for around 15 hours a week, which is really not much, but the self-study load is a lot more than I thought it would be, so adapting to working independently was pretty hard.
Yeah, for me it was also to really figure out what kind of study method works best for me personally, and to really not get guided by maybe what all other students do. So just really figure it out for yourself what actually works best.
Exactly, but this is something that everybody will struggle with. Of course, we're used to probably going to high school, having this system. This is completely different. It is the beauty, in my opinion, of IBA as well. Since you have a lot of flexibility, you can do a lot of other things. If you're interested in this one thing or this other one, you're more able to do it than before, say in high school. But also it can be a bit hard to adapt in the first place.
Yeah, for me also, the most important thing for the transition was probably that you really have to be independent. But we also have a mentor program, and this really helped me to guide through the year. And also really to get used to being in such an international environment was also really something I had to get used to, because like 60% of the people are internationals from all over the world. So suddenly you were also talking in English all the time, and for expressions and jokes, it was really something you had to get used to.
Okay. For the ones who didn't attend the first question, the mentor program that Esme mentioned is a second-year student that welcomes first-year students, and they give them tips, help them. They are always there for the whole first year. And apart from that, from the mentors, we have student counselors in case that, especially students from abroad, if they are missing their family, things like that, our student counselors can help them with those things. Okay. Another question. Okay, we have here.
Hi. How would you qualify the level of your teachers and of the lecturers?
Well, for example, if we think about the English language, I think that's overall, very well developed during the IBA program, because we also have a lot of international teaching stuff, and the English is overall very good. And of course, you always have lectures which you like more and which you like less, but overall, I personally think the quality is quite high.
And this is a research university, so professors here are well reputed. And these professors are teaching us the courses as well. So the professors are definitely an upside here, I would say.
Yeah, you can really feel that it's their field of expertise, because they all know exactly what they're talking about. They answer any of your questions. So they're all really well qualified to teach you what they're teaching you. So that's quite nice.
And it's also nice that they also bring their own experience to the lectures. So you also learn from real life cases. So, yeah.
Okay. Another question here. The microphone is just here, yes.
Yes, in our previous lecture that we had, we heard that there were 15 hours in the college here studying. Are those 15 hours in a room like this, or is it split into smaller tutorials, and if so, how many people are in those groups?
It's usually split up that you have, for each course, usually 1, maximum 2 lectures a week, so that would be in one of these rooms. And then, for example, usually for the quantitative subjects, such as mathematics, then you also have workshop groups, and that varies from between 35, 50 students maybe, and sometimes you also have groups of only 15, so that varies. So there's a pretty good mix of lectures in a big room and smaller work groups.
Okay. Another question. Yes, where are the microphones? Here.
Hello. How many students do you have in first year?
We have 550 students approximately, and from the next year on, I believe 575.
No, it remains by 550.
Okay.
Yes, yes. Okay. The microphones. Yes.
Did any one of you join a fraternity or sorority? And if you did, why? Or if you didn't, why not?
Well, fraternities usually are for Dutch people. Dutch people go to fraternities. It is part of the culture as well, I would say. I've never heard of an international fraternity, to be honest. I'm not sure if there are any. So that explains why I didn't join any fraternity, at least.
But there are a lot of other organizations offered by the university which are also open to internationals. So we have study-related organizations for all different subjects, and then also there's an international student association as well, but it's not like a fraternity. And why I didn't join anything in the first year was, because I mainly wanted to find out for myself now how much time do I actually have, and do I have the time to actually do something besides that, because I wasn't so sure about that. And that's why now in the second year I decided to, for example, join the student representation. But in the first year I stepped back with that a little.
Esme, you're Dutch. Are you?
Yeah, I believe. Not that many Dutch people in our study will join a fraternity because we're really called the IBA family, and everyone just is really close with the internationals. And yeah, of course, internationals can't join any fraternities. I am part of an international student association, however, from Innoctus, so maybe some people know it here, and that was really more something for me because then you still have the international experience and also social students experience, but not only focused on Dutch people.
Okay.
Hello. Does anyone of you have a real job right now?
A real job.
I mean, whatever.
Define real.
Working in Burger King, for example.
Okay.
Working what?
In Burger King, for example.
Burger King.
I mean, I, for example, worked as a teaching assistant during the first trimester, so I taught the mathematics workshops for the first years, but right now, no.
I mean, this is some kind of a job as well. Maybe it's not real, but...
No, I mean paid. No?
Yes, but there's nothing else for me.
No, and it's also important to keep in mind, particularly for internationals, we would have to pay a very expensive insurance in order to be able to work, so that kind of evens out then with what we would actually earn. So that's why, as an international, the best opportunities for you to earn some money at the side is via like a student assistant, teaching assistant position.
Yeah, I do work part-time at a restaurant as well.
So you have enough time to work?
Yeah, I actually have. I also work for Slim Studeren, which is like a study support organization, and also ambassador. Mm-hmm. And I'm also, like I said before, in Innoctus and the honors program. So I'm actually quite busy, but I still manage to do everything. So it's really about planning in IBA, I guess.
How many hours are you working, Esme?
Approximately 5 to 10 hours a week, I guess, from like one job and this one, maybe 5. Yeah, okay, 5 per job.
Yeah, in general, for the first year, we don't recommend our students to work because, of course, they have to adapt to from high school to the university. They have to learn to plan. And well, now they are second year, so if they want and have free time, they could work. What you mentioned about the insurance is true because if you want to work here, you need to have a Dutch insurance. I don't know whether that will be more expensive than the insurance that you have from your country. But if you have a Dutch insurance, which is about like 50 euros per month for students, then you will be able to, I mean, you are able to, you have the right to work, but yes, you need to have a Dutch insurance, which will be like 50 euros a month. Yes. Another question?
Over here.
Yes.
Hi. What's about the percentage of students that fail the first year, and what is the main reason, if that can be determined?
It was just mentioned in the last session. So Adri said it was 15%. So that didn't go to the second year, and it could be for several reasons, because it could also be that they found out that they didn't like business, right? But it's 15%, and like it was mentioned in the session before, we keep the students studying all the time, so that they don't leave everything for the last moment. So there are bonus tests, things that enable them to keep studying, so that they can successfully pass the first year. So actually, the 15% is less than before, when we didn't have this rule of passing the first year in 1 year. Yeah? Another question. Where are the microphones? Here.
Hello, I have a question to Pauline. Could you tell me which high-level courses did you choose during your IB program?
I took English B higher level, business higher level, and geography higher level.
Thank you.
So I have a question to you. I'm currently in the RBS school here at Hogeschool. And I'm in my first year, and I saw that you can go to this study when you have an average of 7.5 around that. But how are they with application for the RBS program? Is it very hard to come in when you come from a hogeschool?
So you're because this is an admission question. So you are doing your first year at Rotterdam Business School,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, then we have many cases like that of students that do the first year at University of Applied Sciences. So that actually is a good thing because you already took many courses in math. So it should not be a problem because you already have 1 year at bachelor level.
Okay.
And the minimum grade that we are looking for is 7. That's the minimum, which is above average.
Okay. And I also have to do like a math test and English test as well. But I found it a bit strange because this whole year I've been taught in English, and so I still have to do the test.
I recommend you that you apply, so without the math test, because only in some cases we would ask you to do the math test. Probably you don't have to take the math test.
Okay.
Also, because did you do high school here in the Netherlands?
Yes.
Yeah, then you don't have to take the math test.
Well, I
likely.
guess I have because I have done HAVO, and you need.
Yeah, maybe we can pass.
But that was not my question, so.
Okay.
Thank you for answering.
Yes. Okay. Just apply, and then we will tell you if you need to take any additional tests.
I have a question on accommodation.
Okay. Okay, let's answer the question of accommodation, and then we yes.
Yeah, so I'd like to know if it's an advantage to stay on the campus, if some of you stayed on the campus, advantages and disadvantages.
I lived on campus last year, so international students can live in the so-called Hatta building, the one building for accommodation on campus for the first year. Well, the advantages are quite obvious. So it is very convenient. You don't have to look for something by yourself. You're with other students, which is always nice. You're on campus, so you just have to take an elevator basically, and you would be on campus. So this is very convenient as well. Disadvantages, maybe the price is an issue for most people. And this is about it, I would say, in my experience.
I think it's also important to mention that basically all the housing provided by, in cooperation with the university, is only available for international students. So there's the Hatta building that Arnaud mentioned, and then there's another 2 buildings about 5 minutes biking distance away. I personally lived in private accommodation right from the start, but for me the main reason was partly the price and also partly the fact that I tried to find something for the entire 3 years right away because I didn't want to move again after the first year. Because in, like, for example, the Hatta building and also the other student houses, you can only live for the first year. So I really wanted to find something longer term right away.
So in case you're wondering about the prices, you can either have an option at 550 euros per month, or another one which is around about 620 euros in the Hatta building.
Yeah. Any other tips about accommodation? Oh, okay. The question here. Yes.
Yeah, maybe to finish off on the housing, maybe you can talk a little bit about off-campus living. Is it easy to find some place and so forth? And maybe the second question would be, you talk a little bit about why you came here and about the quality of the school. But in the end, maybe what made you choose this school and not another school?
I would say once you're living in Rotterdam, it is easier to find accommodation, private accommodation, than if you're living somewhere else. Accommodation is still hard to find, I would say. So from a distance, it is even harder, especially since you cannot meet the landlords, visit the flat, or your room. So this was a barrier for me as well. I thought it would be much easier for me to find private accommodation in the second year. So this is the reason why. And then the second question was, why did I choose Rotterdam, right?
Yeah. Did you consider other universities that offer also a business program?
At first, I was considering going to France and to the United Kingdom. In the end, I chose this program because don't really think that the other universities would have offered programs which would be of a much higher quality, and the quality to price was much better in my opinion here. So this is a main driver for me.
Maybe for housing, it is challenging, and you should not expect to find something immediately and very easily. But also, particularly on the university website, there's a lot of help offered, and there's a lot of providers listed. So, and if you start searching early and don't rely on one provider, then you should definitely be able to find something. And why I, in the end, chose to come to Rotterdam, I also applied to Maastricht, and I also got accepted there back then. And for me, really, the main reason was that I didn't want to be among 600 out of 700 students that are German. Because if I study something international, I also want to study that in an international environment. So, and in Maastricht, that just wasn't provided for me. And of course, also the reputation and the potential master programs I can do here, that certainly influenced my choice a lot.
Yeah, for me, kind of like Marlene, at first I had applied to Maastricht because I didn't have the minimum math requirement to come to Rotterdam. But Maastricht took forever to reply to me. I applied in November and they accepted me after I got accepted at RSM. And as soon as I got the minimum math requirement for my predicted grade for the IB, I applied at RSM, and within 2 weeks I was in. So at first I did apply to Maastricht and not RSM, but since I got in faster, I came here.
Yeah, I also looked at many other Dutch universities, but I found that Rotterdam was really the one that was really international. Because at Nijmegen, for example, like 20% or something of the students were internationals, while we have 60%. So that was really the key driver for me, that if I study something international, I really want to be in a truly international environment. So.
Okay, thank you. Where are the microphones? Oh, yes, okay.
Good morning. I just would like you to highlight maybe how you're working, in terms of assignments, if you have group assignments versus individual assignments. I'd like you also to speak about your future. Are you planning to continue your studies right away after the bachelor, or are you planning to go and work, and what is your thinking?
Yeah, we have quite different types of group work. We have quite a bit of group assignments, I think, for courses where you either team up by yourself with 3 or 4 other students, or you're directly assigned to teams depending on what the course is. And then for my future, I think I'm going to take a gap year after IBA. I'm probably going to do a master's here, but during my gap year, I think I'm going to take the GMAT to get in the master's after. Maybe I won't do my master's here. I'm not too sure yet, but for sure I want to take a gap year after IBA to either do internships and prepare for GMAT, or just to figure out what I want to do, if I'm not sure yet at the end of IBA.
Yeah, in terms of the assignments that you mentioned, it's a quite nice mix between individual assignment and group assignments, while I think that group assignments are a little more than individual ones. And particularly at the beginning of the first year, we are right away assigned to groups, just to make sure that we are really working in an international group, so that is quite nice, because you get to know a lot of people right away that you might not know otherwise. And then, during the course of the program, you're more able to choose your groups by yourself. And for me, I plan to do a master afterwards. I probably want to go into finance and investments. And since I already took 2 gap years after high school, I'm also planning on continuing my study right away.
And internships are really interesting, and I would like to do one after IBA for sure, before doing a master. You might have heard during the presentation before that we have an opportunity to do an internship in the first trimester of the 3rd year. However, I will not do this. I'm taking part in the exchange program. But I would still like to do an internship. So the solution for me was to take a gap year afterwards. So I can do an internship maybe, and make sure that the field I will be doing the internship, and an internship, a tough word, and it's really something I would like to work in later on, and then do a master in this very field.
Yeah, as Arno already said, there's an option to do an internship in the 3rd year, and I'll be doing an internship probably. So if I know from that experience what direction I really want to do, I'm going to do my master straight away. But now I'm still having my doubts between like marketing or finance or accounting. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Where are the microphones?
Hi, I have a question to Marlon. I have the Abitur, the German Abitur, but I didn't take math as a Leistungskurs.
Yeah.
Do you think accounting and mathematics will be hard to pass?
I personally don't think so, because from my own experience, the math course is rather basic in terms of the knowledge that you have to bring from high school, and then it goes a little more into applying that knowledge into a business context. So for example, because I did my Abitur in Schleswig-Holstein, so I didn't even have Leistungskurs, and I also only had 3 or 4 hours of math each week, so that's probably comparable to what you have done, and I personally didn't have any trouble with the math course.
Thank you.
Okay. The microphones. There was a question here before. There is another question here.
Hello, I have a question regarding the applications of VWO grades. Maybe this is a question for the application department. What courses are taken into account for the average grade of a 7? Is this, for example, physical education? And how can you calculate this yourself?
So the GPA that you need to have is 7
Yes.
overall, and math also 7.
Yes, but the average grade is calculated by all sorts of courses. What courses are excluded and what courses are included for VWO?
Okay, maybe that question you can ask to our admission representatives at the stand. We have 3 of them there. Yes?
I will, thank you.
Okay. Yes.
Could you give us an example of your week at the university? For example, at what time do you start your day? And
Well, I think compared to high school, the rhythm is not really the same. I usually get to university around 11, and then if I have a lecture, I go, and then after that I study in the library because I like keeping up with lectures, which is what first year taught me, actually keep up, because otherwise your exams come and you're not ready. And yeah, I leave university around 6-ish, but during exams it's more intense. Like you get to university around 8:30 and then you leave at 8. So it depends on the period of the year.
And I think it also depends on whether you like to study at home or like to study in the library, because I personally study at home, so during exam period I don't spend much time here at all. But what might also be interesting is that usually at the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of the week we have most of the lectures, and then towards the end of the week we more have workshops, like for the quantitative subjects, so that basically in the beginning of the week we go through the content, and then in case we have quantitative subjects, then at the end of the week we get to apply it.
Okay, anyone else about how is the week?
I don't think my lifestyle is that interesting to
Esme?
Yeah, nothing really special. Like we said before, we have like plenary lectures, and it's not mandatory to go there, so sometimes I don't even go there, to be honest. And then workshops, those are really useful, and always do attend those.
Okay, thank you. Another question here. Yes, here.
How about hobbies? I know that universities like to have that image that they provide a lot of activations, like, for example, tennis or football, rugby. But do you have enough time to have hobbies?
I'm personally very active in horse riding, so I have 2 horses that I ride like each 4 days a week. So it's about planning, I think. Like as long as you manage your time well and just plan ahead, it's doable for sure.
Any other hobbies, associations that you are?
I'm not part of any association, but I play volleyball outside the university. So even though the university does have a lot of sports facilities, I wanted to go outside to like meet other kind of people. And I think, it's all a matter of planning. Like, especially for sports, usually trainings are in the evening, and you just plan so that you're done by that time, and then you have free time. Because I think it's super important to do things aside of your study, otherwise you get brain dead super quickly. So I think it's really important to have a life outside studying and university, and really take time for yourself,
And since most of the sports clubs are on campus, so we're not far from campus, you don't lose any time going there. For example, myself, I'm part of the rugby team. It is maybe 200 meters away from the campus, so not a problem. I come to campus, I do the training afterwards.
Yeah, and as mentioned before, I'm in international entrepreneurship Association, and we also have like member nights to sit together and drink and yeah. And anyway, when we have exams, I don't always go, but when I don't have exams, you have time to go. So that's really nice for your social life, of course.
Okay, there was a question here. Yes.
With what companies do you collaborate during the bachelor course or maybe the master, and in what industries or companies do students, alumni end up?
Okay, maybe you could tell just which company you chose for your strategic business plan?
For strategic business plan, you could approach a company by yourself. For example, I had a company that produced rubber and different plastic for cars, and also in the RSM Honors Program. And there we have many collaborations with, for example, Erasmus Center of Entrepreneurship and Europort and many others. And we also have many company visits. For example, we went to the ESA ESTEC, which is the Space Business Center of Europe. And we're also going to Silicon Valley. And hopefully we get to go to Apple and Google. And yeah, that would be really nice.
We collaborate many companies, really, usually private. For one of the project called the Strategic Business Plan, I myself collaborated with EGM Architekten. I'm not sure if anybody has heard of this. Based based not too far away from here. Then for the partner companies for the internship, which you can take part in the third trimester, maybe some of us has looked into this, the different internships.
Well, I'm doing an internship in the first trimester of my third year, and the university doesn't directly help you find and get an internship. But for example, there's an RSM job board where companies can post vacancies, and you can apply through that. But so yeah, there's many types of companies. There's startups based in Rotterdam or in Amsterdam, or there's companies above in China, for example. So yeah, I mean, the university does have partnerships with quite a lot of companies, which is really nice, especially for internships. And for my strategic business plan, I collaborated with a company called Incentro, which is an online consulting company. So they help businesses improve their websites to increase sales, for example.
Yeah, we collaborated with a Dutch company called Varitex. Maybe somebody knows that they produce compression hosiery, which might not be the most interesting thing, what you think of immediately, but in the end it was a great experience because it wasn't essentially just about the product, but it was really about how they organized their entire operation. So it was really interesting. And also interesting is that we sometimes also have guest lectures, for example, from like Heineken or Unilever also. So there you get a little bit of insights. And maybe to get back to the questions, what alumni, what they do afterwards, basically they are active in all kinds of different industries. A lot of alumni in finance, marketing, HRM also, but there's also a lot of, like a rising number of entrepreneurs. So particularly because IBA is so broad, you really keep your options open with what you actually do afterwards.
Yeah, and just to elaborate on that, well, here we have some of the results of the graduate placement survey. And those are the top 10 employers of RSM MSc graduates, and that's because most of the students do their master after the bachelor, so it's Google, Shell, Unilever, Deloitte, Ernst & Young, etc. Like Pauline mentioned, we have an in-house career services department, and we have a job board, and on a daily basis they receive jobs and internships from companies, not only here in the Netherlands, but from all over the world, vacancies from Hong Kong, from the US, etc. In addition, we have some masters that are in cooperation with some companies, like for example, International Management SEMS has in its curriculum an internship. So the students have to do an internship, and the companies